Welcome all of you once again. A very good morning to all the high dignitaries and each one present here. So today we are entering the third day of our conference. The awakening of consciousness is the next step for mankind. With these words, we'll begin our first session of the day, Life and Consciousness, Modern Scientific and Vedantic Perspective. To begin the session, I would like to request Professor J.C. Mishra, the former professor and HOD of Department of Mathematics, IIT Kharagpur, Pro Vice Chancellor of SOA University, Bhubaneswar. He is also currently the Adjoint Professor at the Center Healthcare Science and Technology at IEST, Shibpur. I invite Professor J.C. Mishra to come on the stage.
Good morning, everybody, esteemed researchers in this fascinating field on life and consciousness. First of all, I would like to express my deep sense of gratitude to Professor Sudipta Ghosh, Secretary of this conference, and also other organizers of this conference for giving me an opportunity to be here today amongst you. And so since we are already slightly delayed, without wasting any time, I would first like to request the speakers of this session to kindly come to the dais and sit here beside me. First is Professor A.K. Mukhopadhyay. The second speaker is Dr. Sunil Kumar Onteru. And the third speaker of this session is Professor V.K. Goswami. Actually, the actual speaker is Professor Subhash C. Mishra from IIT Guwahati, but he could not arrive, and therefore in his place Professor Goswami will be talking. Now, it's a matter of great pleasure to introduce to you the first speaker of this session, Professor Mukhopadhyay. Please wait a second. Dr. A.K. Mukhopadhyay, he is basically a medical graduate from the University of Calcutta. He did his MBBS degree in 1977, and then afterwards he did his Doctor of Medicine from the All India Institute of Medical Sciences at New Delhi, IIMS, and that was in 1981. He then subsequently joined the faculty of AIIMS in 1985. At the moment, he is the professor and head of the Department of Laboratory Medicine at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. He is a member of several academies and also a fellow of International Society for Philosophical Inquiry at the United States. From India, he was an invitee of Pontifical Academy of Sciences, Vatican, when there was a meet of the Academy of Science for Man and Man for Science in the year 1999. So with this brief introduction, I would like to request and invite Professor Mukhopadhyay to deliver his talk. His talk will be on consciousness within science, from signal to will and from will to consciousness. Very interesting topic, and we shall hear from this learned speaker this morning. Professor Mukhopadhyay, please. क्या हो गया?
Deciding the purpose, deciding the phenomenology, then there are events, quantum events, and that is macroscopic event, microscopic events, followed by the classical events. Now, who are the player in the event? Now, for the local science, the players are energy, time, matter, and space. Energy, time, matter, and the space. These are the local domain of local science. What we are talking of, which is non-observable and maybe in the non-local domain, these are the nested hierarchy which I told. Then energy, matter, time and space, this from the local science. And we have on the other side consciousness, mind, self and life as life principle. They make the non-local science, and these two are connected by information. Information could be both in the matter as well as in the mind. Information can affect self, information can affect, information is produced from the life. You see, source of all new information is life. A non-living thing cannot generate any information. It can store information, but it cannot generate. Source of all information is living entity. Now, let us go one by one. This information, even when we are awake, eyes open, information we process, but when we also meditate, inside there are a lot of information. Even mantra is nothing but an information on the divine. Sabdam Brahmam. In the beginning there was the word, and word was with God. The word was God. Similarly, in the Mimamsa Shastra is Padartha. Pada means word, Artha means material. Everything material came from that word, that is information. Now, information is very funny thing. It has a trifoliate structure. If information is an ontological entity, if we take information as an ontological entity, it has a trifoliate structure. It is subtler than even the quantum particles. Now, it has a measurable aspect, interacts with the physical world. It has a content aspect, so it interacts with the mental world, and information is an intent aspect which interacts with self. Information mechanics and psychic mechanics are inextricably connected. So, we are coming to mind. What is mind? You see, in material monism or the consciousness monism, there is no room for mind. Mind comes with duality. If there are two conscious systems, in between there is a mind. Now, mind is that which cuts consciousness into two. Sri Aurobindo. End of the mind is the beginning of consciousness. Mind is the gap. And mind works as an organ of communication between two conscious systems. This could be a definition of mind in science. Mind works as the organ of communication between two conscious systems. Now, mind, as I said, communication between two conscious systems, processes information, it has its memory, but mind's strength comes from life principle. Mind is not alone. And perception, discrimination, decision which we assign to mind, but actually these are function of self. Consciousness gives the fertility to this mind. Mind bereft of consciousness is sterile. And infidelity of mind comes from matter. So these are some of the properties of the mind. But who does this mind report to? Mind reports to self. It is the individualized unit of consciousness involuted within the system. Now, consciousness is abstract, diffuse, no boundary, but when it is self, then it is a concrete, particulate, and within the boundary of the system, conditioned informationally to work within constraint of the system, center of irreducible subjectivity, and center of phenomenology. So, self is consciousness customized representative within the system. There are two views, that self emerges from the brain activity, or the spiritualist view that unconditional consciousness descends as the jiva, self, within the brain. Self does not have any location in science. It shifts from one area to another area. According to the necessity of the executions of the will, it catches up different connectomes, that is neurons. But these scientific American, they say, where is that? How to go about this? They say that in the pre-genual cingulate gyrus, that self is there, and that is 2011 publication. So, and this actually is the surface marking It is between the two eyebrows on the forehead. So that is the, they say that it is the resting position of the self. This is the resting position of the self, this area. Now intelligence, how to define intelligence? Intelligence is the dynamic product of the self and mind on the background of experience and memory. Now intelligence of robot is the product of self of a brilliant designer and the mind-like properties within the robot. But is it the product of self and mind only? No, because the mind is not alone, self is not alone. So when mind, self and informational memory interact, we get the dry intelligence or the ordinary intelligence. But when episodic memory also interact, we get the phenomenal intelligence, we can call it moist intelligence. When the life is also involved, operation of life is also involved in this intelligence, this is the emotional intelligence, a juicy intelligence. And when the consciousness is involved in the process, we get the intuitive intelligence or the crystal intelligence. These are the four ways of looking at the intelligence. So now comes the life. There will be no Newton for the blade of grass, Kant's famous word. But life is known to spiritualists as the life principle, to materialists it is the living state of matter, and to a biologist it is the life form. You see, as matter and mind is connected by information, mind and consciousness is connected by life, and life generates information. This is the relationship between the consciousness, mind, matter, life and information. Now what is consciousness? Simply to say, consciousness is that what looks after what is going on in my mind, self and life, and it is in charge of what is going on in my mind, self and life. It is like a spider, it weaves the net, but it is itself outside the net. Problem with consciousness, its recursive properties. A skeleton cannot know what the skull is. How consciousness can know consciousness? That is the recursive problem. When you start working with consciousness, this is a problem. Now, first operation of consciousness is to self-independence. It is the supporting ground, it holds all together, and it is a participating ground, it brings the order and coherence. I give an example from a medical science. You hit my head, I fall unconscious, my everything is functioning, mind is functioning inside, information processing is going on, my heart is beating, even my self sense may be there, but consciousness is not there. So every other operation fall and cannot operate, and I am valueless. I was put in ICU, my wife spending 20,000 rupees per day, and my value is decreasing day by day. But as soon as I start gaining consciousness, everything comes under coherence. Every operation comes under coherence, and my value increases. Oh, he is gaining consciousness, please bring him back home. So consciousness has three functions, textbook knowledge: cognition, reflected as knowledge and creativity; emotion and feelings, that is attitude; and will, that comes in the skill, psychomotor part. We just missed that slide before. So neural network says that these are the hidden layers. Now what are these hidden layers of this neuron? Seeing that this connectivity and so many neurons are here, 10 to the power 11 neurons are there, and about 2 to 10 times that of glial cells. And what could be these hidden layers? That's the problem. So this is, now the brain or nervous system processes both signal and information. Please try to make a difference between signal and information. When this is a reflex action, whether it is a monosynaptic reflex, stretch reflex, or it is a very complicated binocular rivalry in the eyes, there is no passage of information, there is passage of signal. Why I am trying to tell you, you will understand from my next slide. But when it happens to the cerebral cortex, this is the cerebral cortex, 5 to 6 millimeter thick, and loaded with neurons, not only neurons, but loaded with glial cells, astrocytes. You see these are the neurons arranged in layers, and these small cells, these are nothing but the astrocytes. They constitute about 2 to 10 times more than the neurons. Now, the signal is the energy in space per unit time. This signal conversion to information, to bring some meaning in it, we require the mind. Signal is nothing but a frequency of energy, space per unit time, but it requires some energy. Now, as this energy is not observable, let me categorize it as a dark energy. I am not sure whether I am right or wrong, but it requires some energy, and as it is not visible by any means, so let me categorize at this stage it is a dark energy, and this dark energy is contributed by life. This is the presentation I gave in AISQ, which was held in National Institute of Science, Bangalore in 2012. There I presented this, I introduced this dark matter, dark energy and life principle and Higgs boson concept. One can go through this figure and find out whether there is some substance in this construction or not.
Another 4 minutes, Professor. Another 4 minutes.
So, this self, mind, information, life act together. Now, information as a form inside, which is brought out by the mind as a form and energy, space, time and energy. So, when information is converted to signal, this is energy is again required. You see, there is a circumstantial evidence in the brain. This dark energy, if directly goes to neuron, then it will damage this neuron. So, there is an astrocyte filter. One neuron is supported and protected by number of astrocytes. Every synapse is tripartite, and astrocyte neuron mosaic is like yang and yin. They have lot of cooperative activities. One quenches its thirst when the other drinks, one sends nutrients before other feels hungry, one cell signal carries the meaning of the other. It can be a biological model to test the Achinto Bhedabhed. And psyche is not a monolithic structure, so psyche has a 5 operations interlinked with each other, influencing others: operation of information, operation of mind, operation of self, operation of life and operation of consciousness. So, if you look there, let us start, everybody understand mind, and mind works with information. Information is produced by the life. So, this forms the triangle that the nature world, they, others, etc. What is this world about? Now, there is an operation of self with experience and memory, and this is the intelligence working here, and it is creating the I, me and mine sense, the ahankar, false ego. And then when the operation of self and operation of life is joining with the consciousness, operation of consciousness, it is creating awareness and the awakened state. Consciousness mind is directly connected with the signal, so there is a hotline connection, and then they are also connected this side. So, I think the essence of my presentation is this, that psyche is not monolithic. We have told that psyche is one, but psyche consists of mind, psyche consists of mind, psyche consists of memory experience, psyche consists of information, psyche, life principle, self, consciousness, and each interaction producing different behavioral response. Thank you very much.
Professor Dr. Mukhopadhyay has nicely integrated science, humanity and spirit. He has explained how consciousness can be conceived and explained in terms of energy, matter, time and space. This was a very nice paper, and the deliberation was also extremely brilliant. And I would now invite if there is any question from the audience. Professor Mukhopadhyay will be glad to answer them. Yes, please.
Morning, sir. It's wonderfully explained. I from Vedantic perspective, I've been given the understanding in a simple term that consciousness is the symptom of presence of soul, what you call it as life, then consciousness, when it does the function of discrimination, then it is called intelligence. Consciousness, when it does the function of thinking, feeling and willing, three activities, then it is called mind. And when consciousness identifies itself with the body, then it is called illusion. So what is your take on this?
This is what you said is the Vedantic view. I have no conflict with that view, but what I am trying to do, that how to build up from below upwards, this bottom up approach, and then whether it really works with the Vedantic view or not. This is my construction, the way I think, and the research can go about. But what you were saying is already been said, nicely written down in Vedanta. So, all right, I have no conflict with that consciousness. But if you look at any textbook of neuroscience or consciousness, they do not talk about that. So, my presentation is only to how to go about from bottom to up by saying that.
Any other question?
Thank you, sir, for giving your deeper insights. Sir, you described the different types of intelligence like dry intelligence, moist intelligence, juicy and crystal intelligence. So how do we understand, can you give some examples?
How do we understand intelligence in?
Different type of intelligence you described.
Yes.
Like dry intelligence, moist, juicy and crystal. How do you understand? Can you give, people are having different types of intelligence?
Yes, so that is what I was telling, that when it's just you, your mind and your informational memory, reading books and you are memorizing something and you are associating with this information, that information, so that is the dry intelligence. Commonly we know about this intelligence. But when you take a decision depending on your episodic memory means something has happened in your life, there is an episode. And that you have, it is also memory, but that episodic memory when involved, then means it is your life is involved. This is slightly juicy, and many people will not understand that why did you take that decide in that way. Then comes the involvement of the life, operation of life, emotion. Life brings the emotional force. Now, when this decision making process is involved with the life, the output is more than the input. Emotion is always like that. It is diffuse. Many people do not understand that he is emotional, but he always speaks the truth. An emotional person never tells lies. Really emotional person, but one can again abhinay kar sakta hai inke bare mein after knowing that. So, a true emotional person is always right, and he is bringing out something, a decision that he wants to or she wants to do it. So, this is the emotional intelligence, the decision, and following this, when the self, life, mind, experience and consciousness is also involved, that is intuitive intelligence. All are involved, and what decision you take, suddenly it cannot be explained that why did I take this decision. This is wisdom or intuitive intelligence. Okay.
So, sir, is there any relation between consciousness and intelligence?
What is the difference between?
Means, is there any relation between consciousness and intelligence, like consciousness evolved?
You see, intelligence and mind we work with, mon और बुद्धि, जद्दाभि मनोधत्सो मोई बुद्धि निभाषय. Sri Krishna Arjun को बोल रहे हैं that you give me your mind, you give me your intellect, then I will reside in you. Mind and intellect is our tool. We do not work with consciousness. Consciousness does not work. Consciousness only supervise, supervene, intervene, keep the things order, just like the director of the institute. He has not to do anything. He has a lot of organization inside. So consciousness is at the top. But without that consciousness, everything will be incoherent.
So, sir, highest level of intelligence is crystal intelligence. Highest level of intelligence is crystal intelligence. That's what you are trying to say. Crystal intelligence.
These are just name or word. You see, highest is also a word. Now, intelligence will have different grades. You see, for understanding, we have made into 4 categories, but even every category there will be many grades.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
consciousness.
Yes, I was just giving that example that when we just lost consciousness, you look at the look at a patient who is developing unconsciousness and going into a deeper stage of coma. First, the consciousness has withdrawn to function. Whatever may be the reason, there is a brain injury, brain cannot support it, or brain cannot produce it. Two views, okay, but consciousness is not able to function. But mind is still functioning. That person is still processing information. Mind processes information. So all the informations are being processed. Life is beating. Then self is also there. Suppose if you just जोर से आप चिमटी काटो तो उनको पेन हो रहा है, तो self sense is also still there. Then when he goes into deeper level of coma, the mind stops functioning. Next, mind stops functioning. Now, how will I know that mind has stopped functioning? Clinically, when he passes urine and stool in the bed, sphincter control he loses. Similarly, when you look at the developmental psychology of the child we send to the nursery, pre-nursery, when child has a sphincter control. That means he has developed his mind. So mind is related to this calcium ion channel. Even astrocytes, I could not show anything on that. So astrocytes have that calcium waves in the brain. So probably these are related to the mind. Then what goes is the self. Now self, biological, those who knows the biotechnology or the biology, the self representative is the MHC molecule. Self sense, and whole immune system works on the self sense. Cell has a uncanny sense of self, that it is me and it is other cell. Every cell, biological cell has. It is not me, I have a self sense. Every cell has that uncanny sense of self. Now, when this self came, when the cell, in the microbial realm, when this cell was formed by the enclosure, by this ion pump, sodium potassium pump. That ion identity is the identity of the self to start with. Following that, this MHC molecule came. So when the self sense goes, the brain edema develops. That ion pump goes, the water cannot be pumped out of the cell, sodium, potassium. So the brain edema starts. So you look at the sequence of events. First loses consciousness, then loses this sphincter control, then loses this self function that is manifested as the edema of the brain, and followed by life बोला मैं और कुछ नहीं कर सकता, मैं जा रहा हूँ. So he dies.
One more. Eliminating. Sir, there is one more. Simple. Because we are already very much delayed. Sir, can you explain the dark energy? What is the dark energy you are mentioned in these slides?
70% of this universe, 70% of this universe is dark energy. 20% is dark matter and 5%. Science in the same AISQ conference, that when Mother Nature was troubled with this, that how to keep this expansion and contraction in balance, at that time probably she thought that okay, enclose this virus, the DNA, RNA, which was moving around, and this enclosure which started at the extraterrestrial space and gives the life form. The life form, the main function of life form is management of dark energy from cosmological point of view. Ashauto ma sadgamayo, tamosho ma jyotirgamayo, amritur ma mritturgamayo, mrittur ma amritturgamayo. Take me, the life form takes this dark energy, converts this dark energy into white energy.